And breaking news right now, that conference is underway after the execution of Byron Black. Let's listen in.
Inmate Black was pronounced dead at 10:43. He had no last words. This concludes my statement.
Good morning. My name is Abigail Geyer. I'm with TDOC Victim Services, and I will be making a statement on behalf of the victim's family. The statement is from Lynette Bell. I thank God for this day, a day that was a long time coming. 37 years is too long, and it's not our fault. He got to take that up with the Master, the Redeemer. He brought this on himself. I am thankful and grateful to see this day, the load and burden that has been lifted off our hearts, not just me, but my family with me. I thank God for making this happen. His family is going through the same thing now that we went through 37 years ago. I can't say I'm sorry because we never got an apology. He never apologized, and he never admitted it, even on his dying bed, that he took it to his grave with him, and he knows he did it. And this is closure for my family. My sister and her 2 daughters can finally rest in peace. This statement is from Marie Amelia Bell. I thank the Lord for letting me be here to see this closure. I hope that we can be in peace from this day forward. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Catherine Sweeney. I'm the health reporter at WPLN. We entered into the witness chamber before the execution started and before the curtains were open. That's how the protocol works. While the curtains were still closed at 10:31, the mic came on. They did a mic check. That's mostly because at the last execution we couldn't hear very well, and so they made some improvements, and that was very obvious. It was much clearer and much louder than at the last execution. There was some static, and then we heard his spiritual advisor tell him to focus on his breath and comfort him. Again, that was at 10:31. The curtain opened shortly after at 10:31. There was a sheet over him, which is normal. It was pulled up significantly higher than it was on Oscar Franklin Smith. It was over his hands. He had no last statement. He was facing the witnesses in the other chamber. There are 2. So he was facing the one that had family in it. The attorneys and the rest of the press and I were in another one, and he was perpendicular to us. The clergy had her hand on his face and was comforting him. He began breathing loudly and sighing. At this point, if the protocol was followed correctly, the medication would be administered as this was happening through a line coming out of a channel in the wall. He began raising his head and looking around. At 10:33, he was sighing heavily. He told his advisor, "It's hurting so bad," and she said, "I'm so sorry." He was groaning in pain, saying, "whew," a lot. At 10:34, one of the TDOC workers pulled the sheet back some. His hands were revealed. They were taped as they were last time, seemingly with kinesiology tape. That makes it hard to notice if the fingers were trembling. That's sometimes a sign of distress. At 10:34, he was still groaning and raised his head. Again, at 10:35, there was some kind of sound I couldn't make out at 10:35 that could be water or clicking, I'm not sure. By 10:36, he became very still. They put the rock out, or the item, I'm not sure what it is, out at 10:36. That's to imply that the medication has been fully administered and the 5-minute waiting period has started. At 10:38, there was some kind of a mechanical sound. The window closed at 10:41, and the doctor came in and certified death at 10:43.
If I may, with your experience with this, the last
And we will continue our coverage throughout the day on air and online. News 2's Tori Gessner was a witness as well, and she will report for us starting on News 2 at 3.